Hello. Um, I'm going to give it a few seconds. If you are watching the replay, if you will type replay in the comments, and those of you who are joining live, I'm going to give it a few seconds before we actually get started. Check. Okay, so I'm going to get started. My name is Bernadette L. Harris. I am a forensic accountant and also a certified fraud examiner with By the Book Accounting. And I wanted to come on here today to share some information that I recently learned about some fraud schemes that are going on as a result of the coronavirus. And we know that the entire world has been shaken upside down as a result of this coronavirus. And as if it wasn't bad enough, there are actually people who make a living from defrauding others in these vulnerable times. And so today I just wanted to come on briefly and just share some things, again, that I've recently learned that will help you guys not become the next fraud victim. So one of the things that I want you to get in your mind is that serial fraudsters are always looking for ways to defraud people. And natural disasters are usually they're like a ripe for the picking. It's a prime time for them to take advantage of people when they are going through this, because a lot of times our focus is on the disaster. In this case, our focus is on the virus, and our guard is let down. And it's not just us as consumers. Sometimes the government's focus has shifted, law enforcement's focus, and all of the regulators, their focuses have shifted. And as a result, sometimes these fraudsters get in. So my goal today is just to share some things that will help you not become a fraud victim, and also to, help you help other people. So first of all, some of the fraud schemes that happen in these type of situations are cyber threats. They are frauds that occur on the computer. So you have things like malware, and malware is kind of like a program that can be sent via email, gets to your computer, and it steals stuff off of your computer. So it may steal sensitive information, pictures, emails, all kinds of things like that. Phishing is usually when they send an email, and in that email, there's a link where they're trying to, again, get information from you. So if you click the link, they might say something like reset your password because someone hacked into you. I've gotten those emails that say someone hacked into my Uber account. So please reset your password. And so doing phishing schemes is usually those kinds of things is when they do that. And the same thing happens with on a text message. So you can get a text message that is it's an SMS scheme where they send you a text message trying to get your information. So just pay attention to who's sending you messages. I know, again, we're distracted, but you want to pay attention to the messages that you are getting via email or text, and be cautious about clicking on links. If you're on your computer, you could actually hover over the link with your mouse without clicking, and it will show you where that link is going to take you. Sometimes they may put in the email, the body of the email, to make it seem like this link is going to take you to a CDC website or the World Health Organization's website, but it's really not. It's going to take you to some other site that they're using to try to steal your information. There have been fake CDC emails. There have been fake emails from the World Health Organization. There have been fake emails or text messages saying, please update your preferences, FedEx. Please update your delivery preferences to make sure that you are protected from the coronavirus. So again, make sure that you're like really paying attention when you're checking emails, clicking links, because they're counting on you being distracted or not paying attention. There have also been emails about cures for the coronavirus, and to date there are no cures for the coronavirus. Just a couple of days ago, someone got a representative, senator, I believe. She got a text message saying that they were giving out free iPhone 11s because of the coronavirus, and it had a fake URL in there, and it looked like it said Apple, but it actually said appy.com, and it had some backslash and all of this other stuff. And so again, they're preying on people's desperation and hoping that you're not paying attention. So make sure that you're paying attention. Another scheme was a fake app. There's a fake app on Google. I don't know if it's still there, but there's a fake app in the Android marketplace as well as the Apple marketplace, where it was the coronavirus tracking app. And on this app, you can track to see if your neighbor has coronavirus or something like that. And they even said that they were backed by the CDC and WHO, which is World Health Organization, which is not true. So that's another scheme. And what happens is if you download this app has ransomware in it. So basically what will happen is you download this app and then they will take over your phone. They basically hack into your phone. You can't get into it. You can't do anything else on your phone. And they say, you know, pay me $250, or I'm going to steal all of your pictures and your videos. I'm going to bombard your relatives and your friends and, you know, go through all of your contacts. They kind of threaten you with those types of things if you don't pay them this ransom. So again, just kind of pay attention. Make sure that you don't download that app, or if you do download any apps, it's something that you absolutely know is a legitimate app. There are product scams out there, and you may have seen or heard about some of them in the news. These are product scams where they are advertising like products to help keep you safe, things to help prevent the coronavirus, to boost your immune system. And sometimes in these cases, the products are either damaged, they're expired, they're fake, and even unsafe. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to that. There have been several sellers on Amazon whose accounts have been suspended for either selling fake products or price gouging. So just because they're on Amazon, or if they're on eBay or Walmart or whatever, doesn't necessarily mean that they are legitimate sellers, especially if when you click to buy it, it takes you to another website. That's kind of a sign that you want to make sure that you're paying attention to. Business owners, if you sell a product on your website, you also need to make sure that you are protected. So you may want to have a conversation with your attorney to make sure your terms and services agreements are tight on your website, because another fraud that happens is people will buy stuff from your website and then they will try to return it, right? And so they'll return the product, or they say that they want a refund or something like that and do a chargeback. So they keep your product and get a refund on their credit card. So you want to be mindful of those things as well. I'm trying to see if I can see the comments here. Okay. Testing some new technology. So the other thing is, if you go to a website and they ask for you to pay for your products or services with a gift card, with cryptocurrency or wire transfers, that is a red flag. Make sure you run in the opposite direction. If you can't pay for your purchase with a credit card, and credit cards give you more protection than debit cards. I know there are a lot of people who, hey Chantel, a lot of people who like to use debit cards because they don't like debt, but a debit card doesn't give you the same buyer protection that a credit card does. So when purchasing online, for me, whenever I do online purchases, I always use my credit card because I know I have that protection and I can just pay it off. So you want to keep those things in mind. There's this fake website that is selling coronavirus medical kits. And they're saying that these are some vaccine kits. They're fake. They only cost $4.99. Basically, I think they're saying they're giving out the kits for free, and all you have to do is pay $4.95 for shipping, and they'll send the kits to you. Well, here's what happens when you do this. One, you'll never get a kit because they're not shipping anything to you. And most people think, oh, it was only $4.95, but now they have your credit card information because that's what they're really looking for. They are they don't want the $4.95. They want your credit card information so they can sell it on the dark web. And so you want to, again, be careful that you don't fall for any of these schemes. So hopefully so far, I mean, I've just given you a whole bunch of information, but I really hope that it's been helpful for you. I want to jump into some corporate fraud before we wrap up. So in corporations, now everybody's whole life is turned upside down. Most of the workforce, if not all of the workforce, is working from home. People are trying to figure stuff out. You got people using Zoom and WebEx and all of these different Loom and all these different platforms that they've never used before. And so in addition to figuring out the learning curve, you also have people, just trying to adjust to being home with their kids, homeschooling, doing their jobs, and all of these different things. So everybody is distracted. And so I just want to warn us and tell us to pay attention to make sure that we don't fall for some of these schemes. And so there's the business email compromise scheme is not new. This is usually when a fraudster will send an email purporting to be or pretending to be someone maybe in the C-suite, saying, hey, Jan, instead of sending that wire transfer to this number, I need you to change it to this number. And it sounds legitimate. Maybe they speak in the same voice as the CEO or the CFO. They may even have the CFO's signature in their email. They've spoofed the email address to make it look like it's coming from the CFO. And so changes in the norm, things like that, are things that should at least cause you to pause to verify that if this is indeed true. So if the CFO is asking you as the accounts payables clerk to change the routing number on the account that you send in the payments to, pick up the phone and call the CFO and verify that they actually did send that email. Because business compromise email is one of those things where they do that. You might even get an email that says, hey, can you send over the W-2s? I need that file again. And it's not someone in the company that's requesting this information. It's someone outside of the company asking for the W-2s. Well, when they get these W-2s, what do they have? They have all of the employees' names, addresses, and social security numbers. And so now they can commit identity theft fraud. And so you also want to make sure that you're watching out for that. Another fraud scheme that is perpetuating in the corporate world is something known as brandjacking. So you have people who are pretending to be your company. They might be using your logo and trying to reach out to your customers or even your employees. So those are some things that you want to watch out for. Maybe, scan social media, have somebody on your team scanning social media to make sure that everybody that's saying that they're a part of the team, that they're actually a part of the team. Corporations should also consider internal fraud or insider fraud, which is one of the areas that we specialize in at By the Book Accounting. And so with internal fraud, you have to think about all the frauds that happen anyway. And now that everybody's working from home again, everybody's distracted. We're all kind of stressed. If by now most people know someone or know of someone who either has the virus or who has passed on as a result of the virus. So we're all in a very vulnerable place right now. And so as a result of this, controls are kind of relaxed. People aren't paying attention to the things that they once paid attention to. So you also want to make sure that even though everybody's working from home, even though everybody's relaxed, we still need to be paying attention to these controls that have been in place to keep fraudsters from stealing from the inside. So expense reports. I know now that people are working from home, And now they can include certain things on their expense report that they couldn't include before, because now they have to print, and now they have to maybe they have to subscribe to a service that they didn't have to subscribe to before. Things like that that the company may be reimbursing you for. Pay attention to your expense reports to make sure that all of the expenses on that expense report are actually legitimate. Payroll fraud schemes are still something that corporations and mid-sized companies need to think about, making sure that the person who is approving payroll is not also the person that's entering payroll. So making sure you have some controls in those places. Inventory schemes, those things are also prevalent. And the last thing that I want to say on corporate fraud is we also need to think about our vulnerabilities. Now that everyone is working remotely, you got to think about how your IT infrastructure is and what kinds of things can happen to make you vulnerable to these cyber attacks and things like that. So are you using a secure VPN? Do you have an IT team in place to answer questions, to walk people through these new processes that they're now having to experience? What are some of the things that you're doing to put in place to make sure that your data and your company's secrets or information is remaining safe? Your customers' data is remaining safe. So you got to think about all of those kinds of things as it relates to that. So that's it for corporate fraud. A few others, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Charity fraud is always high when there is a disaster. You'll see fake charities popping up that are raising money for coronavirus victims or medical professionals. And there are legitimate charities who are doing these things. So I just say that if you find a charity and a cause that's near and dear to your heart and you're able to contribute, make sure you vet that charity to ensure that they are indeed a charity. So there's something called Charity Navigator. You can Google it, and in there you can actually put the name of the charity to see if they are in fact an IRS approved nonprofit organization. So do some research there. Again, when you're making your donations to charity, make those donations via a credit card so that if it does become, if you do discover that the charge was fraudulent, you can do a cashback a chargeback, sorry, a chargeback on your credit card. There are also some schemes about testing. We know that testing is limited and lots of people are desperate. People want to be tested. People want to know, do I have the virus? Do my loved ones have the virus? I had some of these symptoms. And so there are now people that are going door to door saying that they're testing people. Don't let anybody in your house. Don't open a door for someone who's saying that they're there to test you. That's not true. That's a scam. There was also a former doctor in Tennessee who was driving around. He had a big yellow truck driving around saying that he was doing coronavirus testing. So again, it's just a lot of scams out there, and you have to be careful. In a situation like that, you never know, these people could be trying to grab you for human trafficking, which I'm sure it has not stopped just because we're in a pandemic. Just all kinds of things that people take advantage of in these situations. So those are, one more scheme that I think that we should be looking out for. If this stimulus bill passed, we need to be thinking about some of the schemes that are going to come as a result of this. You're going to have people saying, you may be getting emails saying, here, update your information so the government has your bank account to send you your stimulus check. Just please, please, please be careful. Don't fall victim to these potential fraud schemes. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is to monitor your credit. If you don't have, you can get a free service with Experian where they will send you alerts if any changes happen on your credit. So monitor that to make sure. And if you're not planning to apply for credit anytime soon, go ahead and freeze your credit just to make sure that if someone does get your identity, they can't do anything with it. So I hope that this information was helpful to you. And if you have any questions, definitely put them down in the comment section. I will come back after this video renders and I'll answer any questions that you have. Thank you again for watching and have a great day.